Hey everyone, welcome to MT Guitar. Today we're going to be looking at an exercise that will teach you music theory. Well, this is going to be a big lesson, pretty jam-packed. I'll open it with this. What if I told you there was an exercise that would strengthen your fingers and your technique, improve your rhythm, improve your ability to play over the fretboard confidently, while also teaching you music theory? A lot of times, exercises are something that become automatic. Here, something that muscle memory will take over, right? So this is a very important idea, that by not thinking, it frees our mind up for other things. If I'm not thinking, well, what's the next finger and what's the next fret, because I've sort of memorized an exercise, it frees up my mind to understand the music theory. And eventually to let that be auditory memory to the point where that's not being thought of either. So muscle memory and auditory memory, let's call it, can sink in a very profound way. So exercises are maybe a quick path to that. Now, just playing songs is also great. So we also want to counterbalance any kind of theory or exercise lesson with the idea that just playing music and playing songs always, right, is going to be a really powerful thing. All right, so back to exercises. Exercises are also very meditative and relaxing, right? Now I'm going to show you two things you can do. I'm sure you can guess one of them. It's a metronome, right? And I'm going to show you in real time using a metronome over these exercises. But I'm also going to show you something else too, which I'm excited about showing you. Something to make this a little more lighthearted and fun. All right, now in order to do these exercises, we need to pick a key and a position. But I just want to make a quick disclaimer that I can take whatever I'm going to be doing today and move it across any position of caged. I could move it across diagonal positions that move not vertically. I could also do it over any key. So that's something to keep in mind, that the more you master one key in one position, the more you're able to take that and move it across, because your ear understands what's going on, and maybe your mind as well too, right? Understands the theory of it. I think I've set the stage and maybe introduced this idea enough to start playing. So we're going to say G major is a wonderful key to start. Let's say we want to start with a fretted position, because open positions, one of the drawbacks for an exercise is that you can't move it to any key. So we're going to say, we know open's great, but we're going to do an E shape of G. And that's this major scale right here. Right? And so that is this scale shape of the E major shape right there. Starts on the 3rd fret middle finger. Now, the first step of this exercise is to simply play the major scale in good rhythm and good time and good tone, right? So down. Now, I like to consider that as kind of like the playground. So I'm going to write out these exercises and put them on the Patreon, and maybe you come back to over time, or that you do daily, whatever. And I do want to send a big thank you to all the patrons there. Go ahead and check it out if you're looking for a place to find a bunch of materials, whether it be tabs, study guides, exercises like these, backing tracks, and I do appreciate it. Every note is what we're going to be able to use for these exercises. The next thing you want to do is maybe cover the pentatonic scale, just to warm up for this exercise. So we're going to now do G major pentatonic, all right? And it happens to be these notes right here. So there's the pentatonic playground. All right, now I happen to be skipping the 4th and 7th notes of the key. All right, if I got the pentatonic, that's sort of my parent scale where I can fall back on for cool melodic ideas over G major. But now we're going to get to a little bit more about music theory and the nuts and bolts. The pentatonic scale skips 2 notes, skips the 4th and the 7th. And oftentimes we need those notes. And one example is if I want to arpeggiate the key, I can now play chord tones of G major. And one thing you can do is just start with 1, 3, 5. And then the next octave, 1, 3, 5. So that's very important. Then I have one more 1 up here. So I can end with the 1. So the whole thing would be. All right, that's called an arpeggio. You'll hear virtuosos warm up on that all the time, right? At incredible speed. Okay, obviously I have some work to do. That wasn't very clean, but you know, you get the point, right? You want to get better at arpeggios, so starting in a position is a good start. Then you add the seventh, because we can add one more third, right? Chords are built off thirds. Major third, another third right there, another third. So 1, 3, 5, 7. Then I do the next octave. Then I go down. So the whole thing would be. Okay. Now we're kind of just setting the stage for this exercise. Now we really get to the brass tacks. And we're going to say, what's involved in the key of G if I have a song? 7 chords can be played while never leaving the key. All right? 7 sort of typical root position chords. We're talking about like root position triads. So 1, 3, 5 can only exist on 7 of those notes because there's 7 notes in the key. So each of those 7 notes can be the root of a root position triad. So that's what I mean. That being said, you can then add a 7th on top of that. So here we're now beginning to see how an exercise can teach us music theory. So let's say I want to start with just the 1, 3, 5. I would do ascending 1, 3, 5 in 1 octave. Then 1, 3, 5 from the 2 chord. And it's minor. 3 chords minor. I'm just going to fly through these for now because we want to hear these. 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 7 diminished, 1 major, and now that's 1 octave. Then I can go another octave. So let's hear all that in succession. Be a great warm-up for your music theory, just this. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Happens to be the succession of these 7 triads, 7 chords. They will also work as full chords. I just played G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, F sharp diminished, F sharp half diminished, and then G. And that would be the succession of all 7 chords. And you'll just look up some songs in the key of G, for instance, and you'll see those chords all over. Some more than others. You'll probably see a bunch of C, D, and E minor chords. But with rock, you'll see some chords from the minor key. So, again, the importance of knowing major and minor. So important. All right, that's great. Now I'd want to say one more thing, and then we're ready to explode with these 3 ways of doing these exercises. So, let's recap. Major, pentatonic, chord tones, and then 7th chord tones. All right? Then we did all the 7 chords, 1, 3, 5. All right, this one. Now we're going to do 7th chords of all 7 triads, of all 7 chords. So there's 7 chords in G. G major 7 is the first one. And then on all 7 of these chords, instead of just major, minor, minor, we're going to add the 7th. So we have major 7, minor 7. Notice I'm not leaving the G major scale in the E shape. I'm still in this area. I'm just splitting them up by going 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, if you like, or 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. So 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, minor 7, 4 chord, major 7, 5 chord, dominant 7, 6 chord, minor 7, 7 chord, diminished, half diminished, first chord, major 7. So now, if I take each one of these in succession, we have this, and then we're ready for our 3 exercises. All right, ready? 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now I'm learning all these 7th chords in the key. All right, now we're going to get into these exercises. So we're going to go up 1 octave, ascending, and then descending. And we're going to use the metronome and a delay pedal, believe it or not. So let's start without any of those yet, and we'll just sort of outline what we're doing. We're going to go G major 7, 1 octave, descending. And then that's all you have time for. Then you'd be on the 2 chord. Descending. Notice I'm going all the way up to this high A, so I'm reaching the octave. That's the benefit of this. Boom, there's another G. There's another A. There's another B. C, D, E, F sharp. Sorry, I messed up. And of course, I probably shouldn't be doing that yet. Let's do it together. All right, so here I have a metronome. It's an old-fashioned metronome, but you can use one on your phone or on software or online, whatever. And it's very important to practice with a metronome, especially when you're doing exercises that are intended to be rhythmic, which are most exercises. So I have it at a decent tempo. It's kind of quick. Da ba da ba da ba. You know, eighth notes. You could also do quarter notes if you want to do half speed. So you could go. Nothing wrong with this. Okay, but I'm going to go eighth notes, and you're welcome to either watch and enjoy the show or play along with me. All right, we're going to do one octave, ascending and descending, and then the next one's a bit more involved. Ready? 3 and 4 and. So that would be one octave up and down. So that's a really good one. Now we can go 2 octaves if you've got that down. This one's considerably harder. We're going to do 2 octaves of G major 7. And when we get down, we're going to go 2 octaves of A minor 7. Here's where it gets tricky. B minor 7. We have to go to the higher position. C major, higher position. Higher position. E minor, higher position. F sharp minor, half step, half diminished. Finally, G major. Okay. So this is kind of a more advanced thing, but now you're learning how to play all 7 of these chords up and down, all in the key of G, never leaving the key. So let's try it with the metronome. Might be a little tough. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. It was a strap. Okay. I'm not using my cutaway, so, you know, don't mean to blame the strap there, but I kind of got stuck there. All right, so that would be a great exercise to start slow, very slow. And once you get it memorized, that's a lot of notes, okay? Once you get it memorized, once the rhythm's sounding good, that's the time to sort of say, okay, can I see what Mitch is seeing or saying? Can I see what Mitch is talking about with each chord being a 7th chord in the key of G? G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, etc. I talked about technology. What if we want to use a looper, not a looper, a delay pedal with this? I can tap a tempo if I have that kind of ability, which I do on my flashback. This is not a sponsored video. But I have a nice flashback delay looper by TC Electronic. It's amazing. I love it. And I can tap a tempo and ask for a subdivision. So it's kind of cool, you know. Right? I could go. And here, without a metronome, the rhythm that I've tapped out. And it sounds more pleasing in some ways, maybe if a bit less clear, but maybe a bit more interesting for the moment, not forever. now I can take any of these exercises and do that. All right, are you ready for minor? I mean, it's a long lesson, I guess, but if we did, you know, for instance, B minor. I like B minor. It's a good key. Again, we're going to start with, maybe not the delay yet, but we'll bring the delay back on. If we start with a fretted position, we want to start with something maybe close to the bridge. To the neck, so that you can move towards the bridge. So here I'll start with B minor. 2 octaves of the minor scale, the Aeolian mode, the main natural minor scale that we see in a lot of songs. Now, playing this up and down, maybe even pause the video and work out those notes. Now we're going to do the pentatonic. Notice I'm going to the bass notes, something some teachers skip, but you shouldn't skip that. You should hit those notes too. They're important. All right, now the minor 7 chord tones. Practice what I preach, right? All right. Then we have all 7 arpeggios. Minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor. Sorry. Then we'll stop there for now. Now we add the 7. Minor 7, half diminished, major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant, minor 7. Notice this is taking you pretty much this area, which is position 1 of B minor. So we're kind of working our way up to this more comfortable position. So you don't want to skip this area, right? So we have 5 areas that we can really master. All right, now we're going to say we have 1 octave, 2 octaves, etc. So let's go with the delay. It's pretty fun. We're just going to do each exercise and let's see how it goes. We'll do 1 octave first, 7th arpeggios. Here we go. 3 and, let's see, 3 and 4 and. Major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7. Back to minor 7. Those are all the 7 chords in the minor key. That's just one position, right? So now we're going to do 2 octaves. It's going to be quite a bit more difficult. I actually forget how this goes. So let's do a little experiment together, and we'll try it out. 3 and 4 and. Major 7, running out of room, dominant 7, minor 7. That was a little nerve-wracking because I wasn't sure if I would make it with the non-cutaway. All right, so that would be 2 octaves in major and minor, having a blast, getting better at rhythm, getting better at the fretboard, my muscle strength technique, while learning music theory. It's literally you having a delay in my voice because it's picking up. So, I'll turn that delay off. So now you have the ability to basically say, let me get this down with muscle memory. It's all on the Patreon as a written out exercise. Then let me notice the chords. Then when these chords show up in a song in a minor key, you can play with confidence throughout these chords eventually because you're understanding music theory and all the chords that are possible. So I hope that helps, and I hope that you have hours of joy with this and improvement in your musicianship. And remember to just enjoy, have fun, right? You want to basically not be too hard on yourself if you don't get this right away. Let the music sort of fall into your ears and to your mind. And then over time, you can understand the theory a bit better. All right. See you next time. Bye.